6 U.S. corporations quietly moving to Canada. Here's why it matters. They're not announcing it on Wall Street, and there are no breaking headlines on CNN or Fox News. But behind the scenes, a quiet shift is happening, one that could redefine American industry for decades to come. Some of the biggest U.S. corporations, household names you've grown up with, are silently packing their bags and heading north to Canada. It's not about loyalty anymore. It's about survival, strategy, and cold, hard economics. You won't find big press conferences or farewell tours. These moves aren't broadcast, they're whispered. A new facility here, a hiring spree there, a quiet closure stateside. The result? A slow-motion industrial migration that could gut entire towns, disrupt local economies, and raise the ultimate question: if America's biggest companies are moving out, what happens to the rest of us? Let's unpack 6 major corporations quietly shifting operations to Canada, and why this matters for every American worker, business owner, and taxpayer watching from the sidelines. Number 6. Coca-Cola. Yes, the iconic red and white can that symbolizes everything from summer BBQs to Super Bowl commercials. What if we told you that even Coca-Cola, the most Americana brand of them all, is looking for greener pastures in Canada? That's exactly what's happening. Aluminum tariffs, rising packaging costs, and supply chain headaches have made doing business in the U.S. a financial minefield. In response, Coca-Cola started redirecting aluminum can production to Canadian suppliers. No big announcements, just a few new aluminum contracts in Quebec and a packaging plant popping up in Ontario. Quiet, efficient, and under the radar. The ripple effect? U.S. canning jobs are disappearing, and soda prices at home are inching higher. Your next can of Coke might still taste the same, but don't be surprised if it's labeled Made in Canada. Number 5. General Motors. Remember when GM was the pride of Detroit? The company your grandfather worked for, the cars your parents drove, the paycheck that kept entire towns alive. Fast forward to 2025, and GM is investing billions, not in Michigan or Ohio, but in Ontario and Quebec. Why? It's simple. Tariffs on steel and aluminum have crushed their U.S. supply chain, and EV manufacturing is more cost-effective in Canada, where government incentives and hydroelectric power keep costs low. GM is quietly building electric vehicle drive units in St. Catharines and launching a billion-dollar battery materials plant in Quebec. Meanwhile, in the U.S., plants are slowing down. Over 1,200 workers were laid off just to retool for next-gen models. In America, the conversation is still about legacy. In Canada, GM is building the future. Number 4. Alcoa. Alcoa, the aluminum giant that's powered U.S. industry for over a century, is slipping away, 1 metric ton at a time. In 2025, Alcoa was hit by skyrocketing electricity prices, crumbling U.S. smelters, and a 25% aluminum import tariff. Their solution? Slide north to Quebec, where hydropower is cheap and reliable, and billion-dollar energy contracts are locked in through 2040. That's not a temporary fix. That's a long-term escape plan. Smelters are going dark in Texas and Kentucky. Meanwhile, Quebec's aluminum output is booming. It's not flashy, but it's fatal for American workers. Every ton of aluminum made in Canada means one less job in a U.S. town. Truckers lose routes, miners lose contracts, local diners close early. Slowly, quietly, Alcoa is draining the economic life from smelter towns across the U.S. without saying a word. Number 3. Tesla. The company that once screamed American innovation is now whispering in French and printing blueprints in Ontario. Tesla's Canadian operations are expanding fast. In Markham, Ontario, the company is hiring robotics engineers for its automation division. In Quebec, they're eyeing a full battery ecosystem, from lithium extraction to battery cell production. Why the shift? Power grid instability in the U.S., soaring electricity prices, and endless regulatory delays are slowing American gigafactories. Canada, meanwhile, offers hydropower, clear permits, and billions in federal incentives. It's not abandonment, it's optimization. And when Tesla moves, so do its suppliers, tech partners, and research talent. This isn't a side project. It's Tesla quietly future-proofing its empire, just not in America. Number 2. Campbell's Soup. Even soup is leaving America. Campbell, the red and white label that warmed generations of homes, is now moving production north. Over 90% of Campbell's products come in aluminum cans. When US tariffs and energy prices spiked, packaging costs exploded. The company had to make a choice: raise prices and lose customers, or find a cheaper way to can soup. Guess what they chose? Without fanfare, Campbell started shifting packaging operations to Ontario. New contracts, quiet hiring in Canadian cities, and US factories slowing down. The ripple effects are real. Label printers in Ohio, carrot farmers in Michigan, truckers in Pennsylvania, all feel the hit. Soup might be simple, but the supply chain behind it supports thousands of American jobs. And Campbell's silent departure is just the beginning. Number 1. Ford. The automaker that once put the world on wheels is redrawing its map, and it's steering north. In 2024, Ford dropped $2.3 billion into Oakville, Ontario, not for EVs, but to double down on gas-powered Super Duty trucks. Why? Because it's cheaper, faster, and cleaner to build them in Canada using 90% hydroelectric power. The US, by contrast, offers high energy bills, unstable labor deals, and policy gridlock. Ford didn't wait. They secured 1,800 Canadian jobs and began shifting parts supply contracts north. It's not a dramatic factory closure, but it's a strategic slow bleed. Every new job in Ontario is one less in Michigan. Every tax break up north is an opportunity lost at home. And just like that, the backbone of American muscle is quietly trading its stars and stripes for maple leaves. These aren't isolated stories. This is a pattern. American industry is undergoing a silent exodus, driven by tariffs, energy crises, political uncertainty, and strategic opportunity. If iconic brands like Coca-Cola, GM, Tesla, Alcoa, Campbell, and Ford are quietly setting up shop in Canada, what's stopping hundreds of smaller companies from following? This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. They're humming to the rhythm of Canadian hydro grids. It's time we paid attention. If you found this eye-opening, like the video, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next company to disappear from your neighborhood might already be printing "Made in Canada" labels behind the scenes.